we going live. We going live. It's live. We're going to go live right now. Live time. We're going to go live. Here we go. No, I wanted that all the way over there. I think that's the one. Nope, incorrect. That's also incorrect. Hey. Looks like we're up and running. Everybody is live. And if you're in the stream, if you're in the Discord, I'll be in the Corvus Cast stream channel, so we're not clogging up all the other stuff. Just want to make sure we get everybody on here. I see. Looks like things are moving correctly. It appears we are go. Yeah, we're live. Okay, that's good. Good. I like it. Really nice. Perfect. All right, got the chat going. Hey everybody, my name is Tim. This is the Corvus Cast. If you haven't seen this before, you'll know that the host isn't particularly attractive. The jokes aren't funny, and we just talk about made up stuff. Anyways, I want to make sure that I'm touching base and talking to everybody. It looks like the voice, everything is working the way that it's supposed to be working. Good. Hey, so just wanted to apologize for the lack of posting for the last week or so. It's been kind of crazy. A lot of stuff is going on in life, and I'm going through some things. And apparently, sleep is one of them that I am not doing. And so I've been kind of all over the place with being awake and being asleep. It's kind of tough. It makes me really tired, and sometimes I just crash out at night, depending on what's going on. So if I'm not around in the evenings, I apologize. There's a lot of stuff that's happening currently that's taking me away. I'm renovating my house, and the kids got other stuff going on. It's just been wild. So I apologize if I'm not around. I usually like to connect and chat with everybody and do some things, show you the stuff that's happening, and it's just been kind of falling to the wayside. But I'm battling. I'm battling and continuing to battle. I'm seeing my doctors and doing all the things. Health is important. Take care of your health. Today, I did a lot of renovating on the house today, so I've been working through my living room and doing some stuff. You guys don't really want to hear about this, but it's a lot of fun doing renovations on your house if you get an opportunity to do that. Just dumb stuff. And the more that I've torn my house apart, the more I'm just getting deeper and deeper into trouble. I just keep finding more things that are wrong. And so I'm just going to have to just stop doing that stuff. I kid. I kid. But in all seriousness, a lot of stuff happening in the Saberverse for Corvus Saber Foundry. And I'm sure that a lot of you that are going to be on here tonight have seen or heard. You guys know what's going on. There's a lot of parts. I've got 3 parts currently in production. Those parts are coming very soon. In fact, I know that there was an error with one of the parts that came out of sample. The factory was going to try and send me the incorrect part that was coming, and so I had to check down on them and tell them, hey, I want the part that I want. I want you to send it to me. And so I got in their butts a little bit about that, and I'm going to show you here in just a minute what that looks like. So I got 3 parts in production. I've got 2 parts in sample, and then I've got a couple of other parts that are in dev right now that I'm looking at trying to push forward a little bit further in pretty quick fashion. It kind of came up last week sometime, and if you've been in the Discord, and this is kind of my plug for the Discord, if you're not in the Discord, you should jump in the Discord. It's probably the easiest way to connect with me on an everyday basis. Like sending me messages on Facebook, I get tons of spam. Like everybody and their brother trying to hit me up to make custom parts and do all kinds of crazy things that isn't really in like the Corvus Saber Foundry like MO or like the big picture for us. But like the easiest, simplest way is to get in the Discord and contact. Like just send me a direct message in Discord, and I usually hit you back the same day because I'm in there doing stuff all the time. Yeah, Joe, I feel you, man. Like renoing anything is kind of an ambitious endeavor, and if you don't know what you're doing, like I do, it makes it even more interesting because I was taking drywall apart in my I was taking my trim off in my living room, and the drywall paper or the sheetrock paper was just peeling. And so all the paint started coming up across the entirety of the room, and I was like, this is okay. I'm just going to scrape all the stuff off. and apparently you're not supposed to do that. So I had to go find a certain type of chemical to reseal it and do a whole bunch of stuff. And I get the feeling that a lot of the rooms that I'm going to be working in are going to have the same problem. So I'm really, really excited about renovating my house right now. My what is it? My interest in doing that isn't very high. I'd rather be doing Saber stuff than this thing, but it's what the wife wants to do. So I'm gonna make the wife happy, and as long as that means I get to do my Saber stuff, well then that's good things. Those are all good things. But anyways, like I was saying, the part that I've got in dev, I'm going to show you here in a little bit, or not in dev, the part that is in dev that I want to push in the next cycle, because I want to get it out into market really fast. I don't think anybody else has one for VHC, and so if there are competitors or somebody watching, don't take my design. I would prefer you not to, but I don't know. None of those people are watching. They don't care. They're not even remotely interested in that stuff. But okay, let's go this way, and we'll hit up the Fusion 360 view, and we'll take a look at some of the parts here. So here we are in the Fusion 360 app. We're just browsing around at some parts, and these 3 parts here in the center. Oh man, I hate it. Fusion 360 did an update within the last 7 or 8 days. And for whatever reason, when you pan this around, sometimes it will reset you all the way out. Like it'll do a full zoom out completely, and it's really, really annoying. It's rather frustrating, and I don't know why it does it. So sometimes it happens when you have it set here and you move it and do some stuff in this fashion. It'll move it out, or if you click in here and do something, it'll pop it back out. Hopefully, it won't do it too many times and not be super annoying today, but we'll see what happens. All right, back to business. So today we're looking at what is currently coming from production. So these are done, and they are currently sitting in boxes waiting to be shipped because the other parts that are next to this are the ones that are sampling, and they should be arriving with these parts kind of along the same time frame. And the reason is just to save on shipping. They just happen to be done at the same time. And so this first product here, this first part, is my take on a Menace emitter tip, and you guys have seen these probably a couple of times. I've talked about them in the chat a few times. This is the emitter tip. Instead of 8, it's got 10 or 12, I think. I can't remember exactly. I think the Menace, I thought that I had one here somewhere. I think the Menace has 8 holes. This one has 10, and I liked it with a little bit rounding on the edges. And I added this little cool profile I thought was pretty neat looking. I guess it's not so cool. It just kind of dips in a little bit and makes it look like a crown. And I don't know necessarily that it's Sith coated or not, but I think that it looks pretty cool no matter what you do, slice and dice. And then underneath of it here is the knurled, the diamond knurled type 1s, female type 1 body segments, and then a straight knurled female type 1 body segment. I really like them. I think they look awesome, and I think that you guys are going to like them too once we start getting them out there into the market. I have a feeling that they're going to go really, really fast. Actually, I'm pretty excited about them. The I guess structure here is a little bit different than what you would normally see in some of the other type 1s, and the reason is there's kind of a design philosophy that I wanted to capture. This band is 2.25 millimeters. Hold on, before I launch into this, if you are looking for these, they are currently on the website, and I took some of your advice, some of the team's advice, everybody's inputs, and made a custom, I guess, product profile or template, so that when you look at that product, it won't be available for purchase. And so when I go live, all I have to do is flip it over to an active setting, and so it'll have all the other things in it that you need to have. And so in the future, going forward, I'll be setting all of the new products into the advancements folder with this product template on it, so that it has an orange banner that says "coming soon" or something like that. And that way, nobody's confused about trying to buy it. It doesn't seem like it's available for sale or sold out. It just is a coming soon. Maybe I can show that here in just a second. I'll bring up the page and give it a quick quick once over here really fast. And let's take a look. Yep. No, it looks good. Yeah, orange banner says coming soon. That's the one. Cool. So you guys can find that on the website. You can go look and do your thing. I'm sure that you'll see them. Everybody is browsing and doing the things. So all that stuff. What everybody really wants to see are these two things, right? So these are the Monarch palm emitter. So this was an idea that had come up when we were starting to do this chop thing with all of our parts. Eidolon, one of our friends, he thought that it'd be really cool to just take the end off of a Monarch pommel to make a palm emitter, basically. And I thought that was a really cool idea, but honestly, I think that the Monarch pommel is a little bit like unrefined when it comes to trying to use it for an emitter. I think that it looks nice, but I think that it just needs a little bit more, a little bit extra. So I went ahead and put some embellishments on it and made it look like a proper emitter. It's got some cool like round bottom doodahs. I don't even know what to call them, like vent segments in the emitter section. And it kind of has, you can't see it very well, but there's like a little bit of a dip here. I'm not sure why this band is showing. It's been something changed inside of 360, like I said earlier this week, and for whatever reason it's showing me that ring as highlightable. I'm not sure why it's doing that. It's got something to do with what I did inside of it. So it's just going to be in the middle of it. You won't see it in the model when it arrives and does the thing, but and so you can kind of see there's a little bit of like an angle here. So like I kind of cut like a triangle into it and rounded this edge so that it looks just a little bit different. It's not quite the same as the current let's call it the Perseverance with the Type 1 flange. It's not the same as a Type 1 flange, but it does have like a cool little profile here. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think that it's going to look really good and get it in your hands. And then, of course, this one was a kind of a command decision on you guys' part. I wanted to have a plain ring that just did the plain things, so you could use it in any part. So it kind of looked a little lukey, a little basic, because I didn't have one. I just had like fancy ones. So this is a pretty simple one, and it does all the same things that you would expect it to do. And also, because it's 33 millimeters, you can use it at the top of like a regular plain set of extensions or something like that to make what amounts to a simple shroudable emitter or something along those lines. Really easy. So I really pleased with the designs. I think they're going to be nice, and they should be here pretty quick, probably in time for Christmas or a little bit before Christmas. So it's coming along. Yeah. It's good. Maybe we'll do like a play around, like a Let's Design, where I kind of pull out some of these new pieces that we have and show you guys how they all like fit together in the grand scheme of things. So we're gonna pop over to another section. I'm gonna take a quick drink here. I've been working with drywall all day today, and so my eyes are super dry, and my throat is really dry. It's kind of like almost cloying the dust that comes off of drywall. If you know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. So just give me a second. Yeah, if you're paying attention at home, you can kind of see over here on the left-hand side of your screen, like some infinite things and stuff. If you've been in the Discord, which again, if you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord. We're in here chatting and talking. Well, we're not really chatting and talking yet, but we can be if you guys want to. Whether you want to talk in the Discord or you want to talk in the YouTube chat, that's fine too. But we'll go ahead and drop over here into this new spot here, and this is gonna look a little alien to you guys, maybe a little bit weird. And that's because it kind of is weird. Inside of like sabering in general, I think that there's kind of an issue with clocking parts, and a lot of that comes down to whether or not you do like a live thread on your parts or a clocked thread. So like, for example, if I have a clocked thread on my part, I can reliably land it. If I start turning it against one part or start threading it into another part, I can reliably turn it a certain number of turns and it will always clock it in the same position every single time. I've seen it in like 3D printed parts. I've seen it in some other parts. I haven't seen it in VHC parts, and the reason why that is because 7 millimeter, or yeah, 7 millimeters basically is the thread depth for essentially for VHC, and I haven't seen anybody be able to do it because I think you have to do it with even numbered, like an even number of threads of some such, you know, in order to get it to land, or an even number of like thread depth. So like instead of 7, your thread depth needs to be 6, and that way it's an even number, and you can reliably land it at at a given spot. That's untested. I'm not 100% certain on that. I'm just kind of speculating at this point. And so one of the things that plagued me early on in my like Saber journey was being able to clock parts and getting them to the right position, and it always required a lot of like jiggery pokery to get done, right? And a lot of people will do different things. Some people will use the timing shims, which I think are okay in that they get you to that like desired location, but the execution of them kind of sucks. Like if you stack too many of them, they start to get out of whack, and if you're not really controlling them very well, like the ideal state would be use the single individual timing shim, the skinnies, to determine how thick your timing needs to be to achieve the end that you want, and then put on an actual timing shim that is the correct size. So like say for example, each one of those shims is 1 millimeter or half of a millimeter. If you have 6 shims, you would have approximately 3 millimeters worth of, well, not, let's see, half a millimeter. Yeah, you would end up with 3 millimeters worth of like shim space. And I know that I'm just like, I'm spitballing or speculating on this, but like you would build or find a 3 millimeter shim and then slide it over those threads, and then affect your tightening sequence to get to where you want to be. Because each of those shims are like wiggly wobbly and they can fall into each of the threads, they kind of become a suboptimal option to make things happen. And so I don't really like them that much. I think that they're okay. I think the better way to do this, and I've used this on quite a few Sabers in the past, is to sand both the male and the female side of your thread set. So like if I know I need to move my threads, 90 degrees in this direction, I can take a certain amount off of the top and a certain amount off of the bottom, off the male and female threads, to get me to that point and still keep it relatively even between the two. Because if you take them all off of the male threads, or you take them all off the female threads, you're going to have a really big gap inside, and it's not going to seat really well. And so you kind of have to do both on each side. And so a little bit of insight into like saber smithing specifically, and is learning how to like really clock your sabers that effectively, in doing that sanding kind of like dance, I guess we'll call it. And if you don't know about it, the way that you do that is you put it on a flat surface and you kind of sand in a figure 8 pattern. It's kind of the same way like if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't think of what it is. If you're lapping like seals on like an engine or something like that, like a flat, you need like a really flat surface for that piece. But like on certain engines, you will lap certain seals, or like carbon seals or something like that. Like on a jet engine, we called it lapping. And so you would lap those seals to give a nice crosshatch pattern on them so that they fit perfectly and they're nice and level all the way across. So you have like a certain like trued up type of steel that you would like do the sanding process on. Well, anyways, you can do that in a rough sense on your lightsabers and achieve the proper fit on those parts the way that you want them to. So if you kind of get into like the custom saber shop and what they have on their site, there's one part on there called the infinitely adjustable adapter, and it's like $25 or $30. And that's not necessarily a problem, but it is 3 pieces, and it's actually, well, no, I'm sorry, it's not 3 pieces. It's 3 major components that go together, that fit together, kind of like a swivel piece. And the way that it connects in there, it takes 4 bolts on each side. So 4, like I think 3 millimeter or 2 millimeter bolts on each side, and it connects into like this swivel mount. So it's like one part, another part, and they bolt to this other piece that allows you to swivel it, and it kind of treats it like a thin neck. And so it has like a reduced inner core area of it to be able to slide stuff. But essentially what that allows you to do is connect whatever part you want to your Saber, make a little mark on the outside of that sleeve that corresponds to what the clocking is going to be, and then align those parts up separately after you have it disconnected, and then torque it down. So once you get it torqued down, that part will stay in the position and will maintain the clock. But I don't know how effective that was at, or how many people used it. I know that there's some like reviews of it that said it's great, next greatest thing since sliced bread. But there isn't one available for VHC. I haven't found one. I don't know that anybody that uses one. And I think that I have a solution that will work for VHC that you guys might like. And it fits really well into what I already have going on, so it's even better. And so you can kind of see on the screen right now, two components. Three components. This is broken down into three pieces. And the reason why I have it kind of centered up on this here first is because the original structure was to be as a male-male adapter, and the stuff on the left-hand side, I was testing it to see if I could get a male-female combo that works. And so you can use this part in either orientation. In this scenario, you can have the swivel on the bottom, or you can have the swivel on the top. It just depends on which viewpoint orientation you want to mess with this. And so this is the base. This component here is a male adapter base. It uses a 29 millimeter male like we have on all of our pieces, and it has the typical 2.25 land, we'll call it, for accent rings and collars and stuff like that. And as I finish this up, I'll bring it up. I'll bring up some other parts for you and show you what that looks like, so you guys can get an idea on what all this will look like going together. I think I've shown a lot of you pictures. I see some concurrent viewers up. I must be talking too much and not showing enough. So I'll keep going. A 29, the typical 29 millimeter like VHC alloy threading, the 2.25 land there for our accent rings. And then this here is kind of a new one. It's a new thread size that I haven't used before. This is an M31. And this M31 is specifically designed to interact with this ring over here. So I have this collar over on the right hand side that it's supposed to interact with, and I'll show you here in just a second. So the top portion here is called the swivel, and this is the component that's going to screw into whatever the upper part is going to be, or whatever part that you want to be able to move. And the reason why is this sits down on this top hat and kind of mates with this interior surface here, and I'll show you what this looks like when it comes together and swivels. I'm talking a lot, my voice is getting dry, so I'm trying to keep it together for you. So anyways, these two pieces slide down together and they kind of mate in that fashion. I got to make sure that this is all lined up correctly, because otherwise it's going to look silly when I do it. Now, see, it's not lined up correctly because I got them out of alignment when I was playing around with it here earlier in the preparation piece. Just kind of get it close, get you guys an idea. So the idea would be, for this lower portion, you would put on whatever part you were having stay stationary, and you put the swivel portion on whatever part you want to be able to move. So in my example, it's probably going to be an emitter, because most people want to clock their emitter a certain way, usually to your let's see here, usually to your button, or usually because an emitter has something like we'll say like shrouding, or something that needs it to be clocked a certain way. So put in like a north-south or an east-west position so that somebody can get the correct look that they want off of this piece. And so you would connect this swivel portion onto whatever piece you want to twist or turn. And so the next step would be to take your collar, and you would thread your collar down onto that component. And I can give you a cross section here really quick on what that looks like, to just give you an idea. Let me flip this up here on this side. Ah, there it went. It just did the thing. Did you guys see that? I hate this. It does the full draw out, and so it's going to make me draw back down here. It's really irritating. So the distance between here and here are basically the same. They're only off by a fraction of a millimeter. I think once you get it all torqued down, it'll be really close. And so it shouldn't be an issue. Oh my God. There it goes again for visibility purposes. But what you're looking at essentially is this collar is going to be used to torque down and hold in place that swivel so that your emitter can't twist anymore. And basically you would clock that into the position that you want and then like hold that in the position and then tighten the collar down so it wouldn't move. And I took this idea kind of from a pipe coupling, and it had been kicking around in my head for a really long time and I couldn't figure out exactly which way I wanted to do it. And then I had a revelation. I said, I don't need to worry about it being too big because I already have a part that I make that's already larger than the outer diameter of VHC. It's the 36.5 or 36.15 for my accent rings, and it fits perfectly. And I can use the one size up threading from what I normally use to make this happen. So basically, let me make this hidden. I don't want hidden edges. I want wireframe, so we can look at this really closely. So we can look at the wireframe here really quick, and I'll give you the idea what I got. Where did I put that collar at? I'm gonna have to move this forward or back just a smidge to catch what I need to catch, or rotate it a little bit. Ugh, it's doing it. I hate it. Okay. Nope, still doing it. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the right orientation so you can see all of the bits lined up the way that it's supposed to be. Okay, so there we go. We're pretty close here. I can slide this back just a little bit and get it pretty close here. Okay, now we go. All right, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm looking at and why this works the way that this does. Okay, so this is the collar that's highlighted. You can see the threads, they're intertwined here the way that they're supposed to be and locked in place. Now I'm going to move this off and I'll show you what this looks like. So this is the collar, not the collar, excuse me, the swivel end that we've been discussing. I have it highlighted here, and it interacts with this landing portion on the base. And so I'll highlight that and have it pulled out just a little bit so you can kind of see what that interaction looks like, right? So that piece interacts there, and then you torque the collar down on top of it, and the collar's internal shape interacts with this piece here and locks all of this together, so you have one part that you can index and clock and move and do all the things that you want it to do and look like all the parts that you want it to look like. So what I'll do is I'll get this collar locked in. Sorry for the noise up there. People are moving stuff around in my house again. I don't know if it's the tweakers or my small humans, or maybe the dog. I don't know. Sounds like something's happening up there. Oh, okay. Anyways, there we go. We're pretty close. It's close enough for government work. So we'll go ahead and flip this off really fast and move it back to the normal shaded visual style thing. And we'll let you guys take a look at this. I'm gonna grab some parts off of the areas that we're working in here and pull it together. Again, this isn't like removing the ability for you guys to do the normal thing, right? Sand and clock and do the stuff that you might want to do. This is just another alternative that I haven't seen available in VHC, and I thought that it'd be really cool to make something. The downside is it's not perfectly symmetrical, so like you can't achieve the same look, and that's primarily because this diameter has to be smaller so that this collar can slide over top of it. That's okay, I think, right? So let's go ahead and find some stuff. Let's make a Saber with this and show you exactly what it would look like if I were to put some of these other parts on it. So we're gonna go find a switch. We want any old VHC type of a switch in here. Let's grab that one. Some of these switches you guys haven't seen yet. They're just funsies, just ones that I've done, played around with, and So they did away, for whatever reason, they did away with snapping and like fitting and fitment for some reason. I don't know why. It's really irritating. Really irritating. Yeah, I don't know if that would work very well, but we'll call it that. So we got that piece, and maybe that's not the best. Maybe that's not the best one. Let's do a basic adapter. We know that we need a type 2. Where do we put that type 2 at? You know what, let's just grab a 31. I should have done this over on the other side where I don't have to like shuffle things around too much to make it look correct. So I think I hope that you can kind of get the idea on where this is heading with this design here, intending it to look a certain way. Let me grab this body segment. This isn't one that's in production yet. This is just one that I've been playing around with, the clan, kind of a clan body segment, which gives you kind of a triangular shape in between a couple of pieces. Yeah, maybe not that. Let's pull that out of there. Let's just grab a type 2.1 here. This is one that I demoed last, I don't know, a couple weeks back when I was playing around with a look. Kind of looks like a Tootsie Roll. I don't know what it is. But this would be like your emitter section up here on the top. I think I saw this shape on another Saber, and I was like, yeah, that looks kind of cool. Let's play with that a little bit. And then I did. And so there you have it. That's what it looks like. I'm not particularly fond of it. I just kind of was playing around to see what it would come, like what would come out of it. Let's see. We got a body segment out there. Let's get an emitter tip or something. You know, some of these you probably haven't seen or won't be seeing yet for a little bit. Again, they're just toys. We're just goofing around on something. What the heck happened there? I don't know what's happening with that stuff. Beep, bop, boop, beep, 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 beep. I suppose it helps if I have a good view of the stinking Saber. There's no good views. They're not working the way that they're supposed to anymore. Okay, so there you kind of get an idea on what this would look like kind of hooked up to a Saber. And you can put another accent ring on another part anywhere on the Saber. You know, you could put one up here on the top as you would. You can put one back down here on the bottom. Heck, you could even put one, it's designed so it'll interact with this piece to put another accent ring directly underneath it, or an accent band if you really wanted one. So let me switch over switches really fast. Throw a different switch in here, and give you a let's do a type 2. This one's a little bit closer to what I wanted anyways. Okay. All right, and I'll leave a little gap there because we can put in, what were we talking about? Accent bands. That's what we wanted. We can put in an accent band if you want. I kind of like. This is going to be too big for the structure here, but just demonstrating that it fits the correct way, right? So you can put another band on this if you wanted to, like directly underneath of it. And I think the best look on that would be if you put something together that has a little bit longer switch underneath of it. This is already pretty long in the emitter section, a little bit longer than I like to see it for my personal sabers. But the whole goal was just to show you what this could do, or what you could do with it. I think that you could throw in. I think that you could potentially throw in something like a. Let's see if I can find something else. I got some other designs in here floating around. I really kind of want to do something like this, where it has an angle to it. Or this makes me want to do something like this, where it has an angle to it. So you'd kind of get like a necked down, like look, coming from one to another. I know that that's covering up the switch section, but you get the idea what I'm looking at. So it has kind of like a nice wasted section, like an angle that comes down to the normal diameter on the Saber. And I think that that would look really, really good. I think that this would be right. This particular band, or this grip, I call it a grip cap, but this accent cap would go really well on a like different piece, like on a grip section or something like that. All right, I'm hoping that that gave you guys a really good rundown on what this new part's going to be. I guess I could probably show this with with a different set of parts, to give you an idea on what it could potentially look like. Even this other side will work with another accent part as well. Let me grab an accent band out here, one that I've been playing with. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. This is an accent cap, another accent cap. It's quite large, but I just wanted to show you that it would also work too on the top end if you wanted it. So you could have like kind of a thick, chunky top end with a lot of vertical or or like horizontal looking knurling as well. Just to make it a little bit fun, a little bit different. The idea is to make it as accessible for all the different parts that we have available to us. And then, you can also see that there's also a ring here, this collar, or the collar set. So you can even see that there's two collars. I've got a basic collar, which looks exactly like the Type 2 accent rings. And then this other collar that's down here looks exactly like that's an infinite swivel. This collar here looks exactly like the 1.1 accent ring. So if there's ever a want or a desire to make new looks for these parts, or potentially make them in such a way that they are also like accent rings and collars, excuse me. So they're also like accent rings, but also like accent caps, in the sense that you could put this on and it will be longer over the one side of it. And I can show you that here really quick. Let me just goof on this thing really quick. I can't remember what size the threading is, but I can make one really quick. Adapters, complex adapters. We want to look at the infinite collar. Wow, it is craziness in my house right now. There's so many things happening, just stuff moving everywhere. I think that my family actually moves furniture around in the house, on the regular when I do this thing. So this is actually a 33 millimeter, the only 33 by 1 ring that you have. So there might be a problem. It poses a little bit of an issue because the outer diameter of it is 33 millimeters, which is the same outer diameter as the other parts. So making it into a shroud or an accent band might be a little weird, but we can play around with it. Let's see what it does. Let's see if I can do that. And if I can, then we just figured out something else. So not saving this, and I have 7 of 10 available, so I got plenty of space. Let's fart around with some stuff. Let's do it. We're at 8:40. It's about a little over halfway through the thing. I see they've got a couple people that visited, and we haven't been much more than about 3 people, so That's cool. I appreciate you guys coming out to hang out and chat me up. For those of you that have chatted me up, Joseph Gallagher, I see you out there. I don't remember what the length I had was on those things, but let's go to 16. Let's just play around here. What did I make that? Wow. I don't know what the heck they're doing up there. I hope that you guys can't hear that because it sounds really bad on my end. All right. I don't remember how far we need to make that. My brain stopped working about 25 minutes ago. That's 16. I need 7 millimeters off of that, so I need 9. 9 millimeters. Phew, that's the wrong way. You went the wrong way. Negative 9 millimeters. Let's try that again. Negative 18 millimeters. Why did you do this? You know what? It didn't do what I wanted it to do. Let's do it back. I want to go 9 millimeters. Negative 9. That's what I want. I just wanted that. Just cut it. Just cut it. That's it. All right, take that 32. Yep. I'm going to cut another one in there because I want to keep that inner circle area, I think. Let me look at this collar really quick. Get this thing pulled up. Yeah, so I got to deal with this thing. I have to put in the shape at the end of these threads so that it has that catch. And that inner diameter is 31.5. So let's see how far that is. Okay, let's go back there. Let's go play around with it. Okay, getting a little dicey. It's 1.4. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's do some thread. We'll do. I need to go 33 millimeters by 1. Why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Modeled. Okay. So now we have a modeled example here of those threads. Let me make sure I get this to 33. Okay, so that's better. That gives us the opportunity to make this into the thing, right? And so now we have this band. We can round these edges off just a bit. Let's give it a, why is that tangented? Curvature? Tangent. No, that'll work. Let's give it a 25. No, let's do 50. And we'll do a little Graflexy thing. What do you think? What are you thinking? Need to get a little bit smaller here. Good Lord. Why does it do that? That's super annoying. All right, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's give it a circle here. We'll rotate this really quick. Nope, it's not gonna let me do that. Yeah, here we go. Revolve it and stick it on that axis. All right, so now we have a revolved Graflexy sort of look to play around with. Let's see what that does. Let's do this. Save it as a accent. Wait, adapter. Okay. And we'll drag this thing back in to this space and play around with it just for a minute, just to try it out, right? Let's get this other collar out of here. Where did it go? Get that. Get out. Get out. Get. Let's get it reset on the place where we want to put it, right? Infinite base, infinite swivel. Yes. That's what we want to see on the spot. And infinite collar. Where did it go? Infinite collar, infinite band. Bam. All right. I didn't play around with this other spot. I still need to round it off just a little bit, but you can see what this is going to look like if you were to use it in the fashion that I think should be used. So it gives us a lot of options, and let me change this over really fast. Visual style, wireframe. We're going to look to the inside of this and validate that it's going to do all the things that we want it to do and be glorious in the things that it's going to do. So you can see the diameter is just right. It slides right over those threads. It's going to drop down onto the area that we want it to drop down on and cover the space that we want it to cover. Yeah, I need to revise that. I need to revise that spot just right inside of that piece, but it's there. We're there. It just needs to be adjusted here. Yeah, to where that interacts correctly. All right, that's a thing. Yep, it just needs to be rounded up. Once it rounds, it will work. Okay. Trying to get it to position correctly. There we go. So we'll draw back out and we'll show you what that visual style looks like. Let me get that out of there, dang it. All right, here we go. Okay, cool. So now we have a super cool looking band, and it will cover all the other stuff that we might want it to cover at the top of like a switch or something along those lines. Let me grab a switch out of here. You guys keep asking me about switches, why we don't have new switches. The 2.1 is, I think, the classic look for the VHC like lightsaber switch sections, and I kind of like it. I think that it looks really good. I guess that people aren't particularly happy or fond of it anymore. They don't want more, but you can see what that looks like. You know, if I switch that over to the other style of switch or the other style of band that we have, I've got one sitting around here somewhere off to my left or off to my right. I have to go track it down. Yep, I don't know where it's at. I could put the one with the three bands on it, like the band type one, like format, so that it looks like the actual band that we had previously, and so it would correspond to other pieces. It'd be like a match set. You could have this band on the collar and the other band in another location on the Saber, and so you kind of have a match setup sort of thing. I think that band looks really good by itself solo, but this would just be another I think really cool option for us to have kind of unique look in the Sabers, and a new feature that allows us to clock our emitters the way that we want them clocked. So if you think this is really cool, you think you're excited about it, let me know. Shoot me a message in like the chats. I see people posting in the murder, and people hanging out with their families. That's cool too. Yeah, no pressure to come hang out with me. I'm not that cool, and I'm also tired, and I'm also not funny. So we're good. I just hope that that everybody likes it, and they think that I think this is going to be like one of those things that makes a nice big splash. It's going to show up. It's going to be something that nobody else has, and I think that It's going to be the new thing. It's going to be the next big thing. Let's see. We got about 10 minutes left. I'm kind of tired of hearing myself talk, to be honest with you. There's not a lot of activity today, and it sounds like people are moving furniture around tonight again. So, still moving furniture at almost 9 o'clock at night, my children. I'm going to have to go find out what's going on up there. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a little bit early. I'm parched. I'm tired. I'm ready to move on to something. I'm just going to do a quick recap, and then I'm going to knock it off. So just to keep you guys in the loop, you guys already know there's 3 new parts that are in production: the knurl, the straight knurl, the diamond knurl, and the new menace tip emitter tips that are coming. You can find those all 3 in the advancement section with a new product template. Excuse me, I can't even think today. A new product template that has a new banner that says "coming soon" and all this fancy stuff. It's not really fancy; it's just an orange banner that says "coming soon," and you can't buy this stuff. Got samples, 2 samples that are currently out, the Monarch palm emitter and the emitter tip type 0 that you've seen. That's also cool. And then in dev, you've seen the infinite adapter, and I know that somebody wanted to talk about accent rings and accent bands, but I think that the new thing that we're looking at, that accent ring and band, is actually going to be a lot cooler than those other pieces are. And so pretty excited about this one. I hope to field it by maybe January, just in time for us to go into the new the Lunar New Year. I don't know if that I'll be able to produce another product in time for January or for February in that time frame, unless I get really lucky. But as soon as this set of products clear for the Monarch and the Type 0, I'm going to push this straight into production. Not into production, excuse me. I'm going to push this straight into samples so I can get an idea on what to do with it, and then move it to production as soon as I can. I think that's going to be fun. I think it's going to be the awesome part. I'm really excited about it. So, I don't know that anybody's got any questions. I haven't seen anybody throw anything out there. You guys just listen to me talk. I think I got one person the entire time. So I've had you for a whole hour. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And thank you for giving me your energy and all the things that you do with Corvus Saber Foundry. My name's Tim. This has been The Cast. I'm out. Caw-caw! See you guys later.